WrestleMania 28 is a few weeks away, and normally I wouldn't do these till after Raw, but this is a shock to me. Well, even though I knew this was going to happen anyway, I didn't think they would have announced it right now. And this is kind of a preview more than a prediction, but this is kind of breaking news right now from the board of directors of the WWE. And apparently, the board. Let me just say them before I continue this with the board of directors. They've really been more active than they have been in many years. Because first we had the board make Vince McMahon retire or lose his position as COO, which he was going to retire anyway, and I feel bad for him that it did have to happen with a storyline or anything of that matter. It showed how much the fans respected him during that. And then the board said Triple H was no longer the person to run Raw. He was still COO, but he wasn't the person to run Raw, and John Laurinaitis. Thus, we have the mess we have now. Now, apparently, I guess earlier today or right now, I don't know what time this was uploaded. This did happen now. And let me just say that the new WWE site looks kind of fucked up, but, people get used to it. I don't like it myself personally, but I guess once everything is taken care of and fixed, because some of the things did not work on the site, so, then again, what hasn't worked on there? Anyway, the board of directors has now made this known, unless this is, we'll find about more of this on the Raw, but this is what I'm reading right now. To whom it may concern, due to the recent dispute regarding management of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, last week, the board of directors allowed General Manager Teddy Long and Interim General Manager of Monday Night Raw, John Laurinaitis, which they don't do the vice president shit, which is good to make this letter longer, John Laurinaitis, to oversee the show of the respective counterparts. The performance of each man exceeded the board's expectation, although the board would prefer to retain both men of their current positions. Recent events have made it absolutely clear, and this is not an option. Therefore, the board has decreed that after WrestleMania that Raw and SmackDown will be run by only one general manager, aka the new commissioner of the WWE. As I like to call it. That's not their words, that's mine. Mr. Long and Mr. Laurinaitis will resolve the impasse by choosing teams of 6 superstars to compete in a 12-man tag team match at WrestleMania. The general manager of the winning team, whether Team T-Lo or Team Johnny Ace, or what they're saying, Teddy Long or John Laurinaitis, will be awarded the stewardship of Raw and SmackDown. Mr. Long and Mr. Laurinaitis are expected to choose their respective teams with the weeks preceding WrestleMania. The decision of the board is always final. Respectively, the WWE Board of Directors. This is interesting. The board was going to have something involved somehow, but since we have maybe a few weeks to WrestleMania, I don't know the exact date, maybe. Actually, that is in from today, 3 weeks' time. Less than 3 weeks away. So, it's interesting to see what Johnny Ace and T-Lo will decide. More importantly, if any of these superstars will be suspended during and before WrestleMania, because, with the drug tests and all that, that does play an issue with that. It does not say it is an elimination tag match. This will probably be more discussed within the weeks of WrestleMania. But if I were to pick right now on who would win, no teams announced yet. Nobody announced yet. Probably will be announced at Raw Super Show. But to be honest, with my opinion right now, the Super Show, what's the need for a draft and what's the need for 2 general managers? Since they're both on the show regardless, and since all superstars of SmackDown are allowed to be on Raw nowadays, what's the difference between a draft and a new commissioner? Because like I said before, we've had commissioners before with Mick Foley, William Regal, and I think one other person I'm not quite sure, maybe with Steve Austin, I don't know exactly, and I'm not sure if that's correct. I know he did have some control of WWE at some time as a storyline with the McMahons at one of the King of the Ring pay-per-views. But with this, I don't, if I was to pick somebody, right away I would pick Teddy Long, because Teddy Long deserves it. Johnny Ace already has his executive vice president of talent relation bullshit. And he does. With that, I would say flat out Teddy Long. I would have thought this was a decision I've had in my mind for a very long time. But it's interesting that the board finally has a set. The board finally actually wants something to happen. And by the way, their letter looks very weird. Just WWE logo, black line, and then I guess that's just how they do their contracts as well. I'm not quite sure. And again, everything is different than seeing this shit. But with that, you see, I'm starting to get bored with this a little bit because this has been happening the past few weeks, and Teddy Long beat Johnny Ace at a SmackDown show, which automatically thinks that he should be general manager regardless now. But the board finally said something. I don't know where this will go, and I do not know what will happen. But at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, April Fool's Day, there will not be an April Fool's joke, and this will not be one as well, because we will see a commissioner regardless of what happens.